While we were all watching the votes come in on Tuesday night, I was at Donald Trump's headquarters in West Palm Beach, and Blaze TV Alex Stein, he was undercover as a white dude for Harris at Kamala Harris's Howard University watch party. Take a look.
It's going to be a great night making history here.
What's going to happen? Do you love abortion?
I don't love abortion, but I'm all for a woman's right to choose.
Yes.
My body, no one else's.
Suck that baby out. If you got a vacuum, free abortion!
Alex joins us now to discuss what that night was like. So take us through the joy, Alex, of the Kamala Harris headquarters on Tuesday.
Well, Jill, it started out very positive. People thought, this is going to be their night. And I'll be honest, like if you looked at the crowd, all the African-American Howard students, they all looked pretty cool. They were hip, young, but all the white people there, they looked like freaks. They either had like blue hair. They looked like they, were like 100 pounds, that they were emaciated. They all had masks on. So there's kind of like two glaringly different groups of people there. And the young, like Howard students, they were having fun, but all of the white liberal freaks, they were not having very much fun. Even walking into the event, I felt like they were a little uncomfortable and out of their element, if I'm being honest.
Well, so Alex, I feel like you can blend into your surroundings really well, but I have to know, did anybody recognize you even with your White Guys for Harris hat on?
Yes, Hilary, a bunch of people, when I say a bunch, like 3 or 4 people came up there and saw from my tweets and my posts, and they're like, oh, you're Alex Stein, you're undercover. And that actually helped because we were able to get some footage from inside of the event from some college kids that came there that were supporters. So I had the stupid glasses on. I was a little undercover. But, when you're embedding with these people, most people don't even know who Kamala Harris is, Pete Buttigieg. So it's not like I'm that big of a target. You must be really dialed in if you know who I am. I would say the majority of our voters are low information voters that had no idea what was going on other than they thought it was going to be a free party in Washington, D.C. And it was not a party. It was a funeral for Kamala Harris's campaign. And just the sadness on their faces and the disappointment. I hate to admit it, but it felt me up with a lot of joy.
All right, let's lean into that a little bit more because I am so curious as to what your experience was like there, because I'm sure it was the exact opposite of what we had down there in West Palm Beach. Like, when did they know that they were going to lose, and then what started happening once that set in?
Well, I would say, roughly around like 11:30, before midnight Eastern time, they knew it was cooked. Like it was basically finished. And at 1 a.m., everybody knew. At 1 a.m. in Washington, D.C., I went and walked around, not just near Howard, but walked around Capitol Hill. We walked past the bars. Every bar was empty. Literally, every watch party that we went by was empty. So they knew it was over by midnight, and just sadness. I remember seeing a woman literally crying and smoking a cigarette outside of one of these bars in Capitol Hill. It was like she was literally at a funeral. So it was very sad. I didn't see any like liberal freakouts that you're seeing everybody like Matt Walsh post, but I did see just a lot of sadness and despair. And let's be real. I think Jimmy Kimmel was on his show crying, saying that the voters don't realize that. The voters that voted for Trump don't realize that they actually hurt themselves in the long run. Well, the people that were sad on election night don't realize that Donald Trump has their back and will be the best candidate and best president for our country. So even though they're sad, in the next 4 years, they're going to have a lot of happiness around them to lift them back up. So I don't feel bad at all.
Well, so on that note, what did you learn about the Democrats or white dudes for Harris when you were there kind of amongst them? Did you learn anything about them or the way they think or why they voted the way they did?
Yes, Hilary, it was so crazy. So Brandon, Brandon, my producer on my show, he was wearing the big white dudes for Harris shirt, and everybody was attracted to it. Like they thought that was the coolest, most clever thing, like white dudes for Harris. So it was just cringe. It's just the most cringe thing ever. But people loved it. African Americans loved it. Latinos, everybody's laughing at that shirt. So these are people that are probably mentally ill if they think that shirt is that cool. It's the dumbest thing. Inherently, the shirt is racist. Saying white dudes for Harris is making everything about race and everything about color, which is what they did because Kamala Harris was only chosen as the vice president because she was a black woman. So, they are racist. They make everything about color. Instead of having a meritocracy where somebody could be the best candidate for the job, no, they restrict you. No white people are eligible. No Latino people were eligible, and no Chinese people were eligible. So the left that likes to say that racism is our biggest problem are the biggest violators when it comes to racism.
Okay, so we just had the picture of you and Glenn Beck on the screen together. And that woman that we showed there in the clip at the start of this, you actually said, oh, say hi to Glenn Beck to her. And she's like, hi, Glenn. Right. So how gullible do you think that some of these people were? Like, you're a reporter. There's a camera in front of you, so you look super official, right? And these people were just like, I'll say whatever you want. You're on TV. This is so cool. Like, how gullible are people, Alex?
Oh my gosh, too gullible. I mean, I'm gullible. You're gullible. We're all gullible, but these people are extra gullible. I mean, I'm yelling Glenn Beck, but it blew our cover. Like shortly thereafter, we had to kind of go walk down the street and reset up because all of a sudden, like, the pro-Palestinian protesters noticed me. So multiple people noticed me and who I was after I started yelling Glenn Beck. That was probably not a great way to embed, is bringing up Glenn's name and yelling it. But listen, the atmosphere was fun. That was still at a time when it was still kind of fun and positive. That was 9:40 p.m. Eastern. But about an hour after that, it had all changed. It was the party was over and everybody was sad.
Alex, what's your final takeaway then from election week here?
Well, it was a great week. And I just want to start off by saying, thank you for having me on. But I want to apologize because I obviously know the mainstream media is fake, but I was still under the impression because I went to the Kamala rallies and I saw how important of an issue abortion was. And I just couldn't believe that this is her main messaging, the right to basically kill your baby. And I really was under the brainwashing myself, thinking that this is going to rally the women vote. And I saw the numbers, 53% of women voted early voting, compared to 47 men. And I was doubtful. I was like, they're going to steal it. They're going to do something, or the women are going to come and there's not going to be a red wave. And I was wrong. And I just want to say Donald Trump is the best. I love him. And I'm so happy that I was wrong because I thought it was going to be a tight race. And I really thought they were going to steal Pennsylvania. And I'm just so grateful and happy that I'm wrong. And I hope me saying that, in the days leading up to the election, encourage people to vote because we saved our country. And I know Donald Trump can't fix all of our problems immediately, but the chances of them getting fixed increase exponentially now that Donald Trump is our future president.